Hello everyone and welcome back to Vlogoween. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. We are officially more than a week into Vlogoween and still going strong, and I'm pretty proud of myself for getting so many videos out there, so thank you guys for sticking with me. So today I am doing another original art piece. I wanted to do something a little different this time. You guys will know that one of my main art goals, like in the grand scheme of art in general, is to be a children's book illustrator. So I figured I would do a little Halloween-inspired piece that looked like it could be in a children's book. That was the goal, at least. That was the idea that I had in mind. I don't quite know if it was successful. I did my best, but there are a lot of things I don't like about this piece, and I'll just get into it. So I had this idea of a cute little witch walking in a spooky forest with a ghost following behind her. And one of the main things I wanted to accomplish with this piece was not so much character design, which is something I focus a lot of my pieces around. Instead, I kind of wanted the whole piece to give off a certain feeling or kind of tell a certain story just with the overall piece. So I wanted a lot of the focus to be on the background and the atmosphere, and less focus to be on the characters themselves. Because a lot of my pieces focuses on just about one character, and that's like the focal point, and everything revolves around that one character, and I try to make that character look really aesthetically pleasing and all that kind of stuff. So with this piece, I wanted the whole painting to be kind of tell a cohesive story, but I don't quite think I hit the mark with this one. I tried to do a background, which is something I'm very inexperienced with, but something I really want to get better at doing. So I looked up a ton of references of different spooky forests, foggy forests, all kinds of stuff, and I searched Google Images and Pinterest and found all kinds of different pictures, and I had a mood board going. But I still should have done a few more studies, I feel like, because I kind of just went right in, because I was really excited to start this piece. So I had all my references, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go do it. And I think that was ultimately a mistake because, I don't know, it just looks kind of mediocre to me. And I don't mean to like badmouth my art or anything like that, but I'm just trying to point out the flaws in my own pieces so I can improve in the future. But to me, this piece feels just like I didn't hit the mark, and to me, it looks like I didn't know what I was doing, because I kind of really didn't. I kind of just went in and winged it. But I should have done some more studies of forests and practiced a little bit more before I went in the final piece, because the background is definitely lacking. I wanted it to portray a certain feeling and a certain atmosphere of being spooky, and I don't quite think it looks like that. I think it just kind of looks like lines and splotches of watercolor to me. So unfortunately, I'm not super happy with this piece. And the thing is, I had such a clear idea of what I wanted in my brain. And it's always frustrating when you have such a clear idea and you can't get that out onto paper like you want to. So yeah, those are my biggest issues with the piece, was that the background is not, it just looks like not what I wanted it to, and then the characters themselves look, I wanted them to be very simple and not too detailed, because I wanted this to look like a children's book illustration, and children's books use a lot of simple shapes and simple character designs, and I wanted the little girl witch character to look like a witch, so I used very simple but very how do I say, very witchy shapes, like the triangle hat and the big black dress. But even with all that in mind, I think the character looks not too simple, but just not quite right. I think I could have played around with shapes more to make her visually interesting. That's the thing. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. I think overall this piece is a little boring, to be honest. It doesn't have the feeling that I wanted it to, and it's not super exciting to look at. And with children's book illustrations, you know, a lot of the illustrations are, you know, exciting and colorful, and they will have to keep the attention of the child who's reading the book. And I feel like this hit the mark, or missed the mark with that. The shapes I used for the girl witch character are just kind of boring. You can tell she's a witch, so that is a plus. But other than that, I feel it's just kind of meh. Plus, I also tried to use gouache for the skin because gouache is opaque and I used everything else in watercolor. So I wanted her skin to be, you know, to show up against the background, and I'm still not great at gouache, and I don't know why. I didn't use any green in the gouache paint, but her skin turned very, very, very green. And I actually had to fix that in post-processing in Photoshop. I had to change her entire skin color because it looked like super green. And she's a witch, but I didn't want her to be like one of those green-skinned witches. I just wanted her to be like a cute little girl witch. So I don't know why her skin turned green. I think it must be because I used a skin tone on top of blue. But then again, I thought gouache was supposed to be totally opaque. So I don't know. I'm still trying to use gouache. But anyway, that was just a little issue I had with the skin. Overall, I'm not super disappointed with this piece. I had a lot of fun painting it, and it was fun to get into the Halloween spirit, so I don't mean to totally trash on it. I just had a very solid idea, and I wanted it to look like it could be in a children's book, and it just hit the mark for me, and I was a little disappointed in that. But it also was a learning experience, and I have some ideas on places I can improve on in the future, which is always good. So even though this piece keep saying that, even though this piece missed the mark overall for me, I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I learned some things. I'm not totally, you know, angry at it. I do think it's still pretty cute overall. I really like how the little ghost turned out. I think he's pretty cute. And yeah, so now I know some places I can work on, which is always good. And it's always good to try something different with your art so you're not getting stuck in a rut and doing the same thing over and over again, which I'm definitely guilty of doing. So anyway, that is going to be the end of this video for now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me again today. Happy Vlogoween. I hope you guys are getting into the Halloweeny spirit because it's coming up on us. So anyway, yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow for another Vlogoween episode. Bye, guys.